Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/AckleyattackTV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, what else can I say except, well, Happy New Year's Eve, everybody! So yeah, I guess it is safe to say that it looks like we're now on the final day of 2025 as we speak, and boy, I think it's safe to say, I think pretty much of anything, we really had a wild ride with, of course, this year for sure, and we did have ourselves some good news and, of course, some bad news. Well, the bad news is, of course, a lot of terrible stuff has actually happened, and yes, I can agree with a lot of people that having Donald Trump back in the White House is probably the worst out of all of them, to which, yeah, it didn't work well the first time, to which I know it's not gonna go work well the second time for sure. But it's okay, I think we'll get him out of there soon enough for sure, so yeah, but that's just to name me a few for sure. But the good news is, however, we have been fighting back against some of the terrible stuff, and of course, fighting and resisting all the way for sure to really get us into a really great stable position for sure. And surprisingly enough, in terms of movies that I've actually seen for this year, yeah, I think it's safe to say that it is pretty much an up and down roller coaster, like, of course, the last year for sure. But seeing of how I did already talk about some of the worst movies I've actually seen for this year, I think it's time to counteract that, as expected, by talking about some of the best movies I've actually seen for this year for sure. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, hands down, and boy, I think it actually feels great to finally do this list for sure, so yeah, and I think it's safe to say that I've seen a lot of good movies throughout the course of this year for sure, and I mean some really good ones, hands down, so yeah. And of course, just as I promised, hands down, with so many good movies that I've actually seen by far, I guess the ultimate question remains, which ones are, of course, my all-time favorites, hands down? Well, surprisingly enough, that is, of course, what we're here to talk about in this list for sure, so yeah. So yeah, I think it's safe to say, of course, on that front, hands down, I think it's time to once again go through the best of the best of the best for sure, as I'm going to be counting down my list of course, my favorite movies of course, this year for sure, so yeah. And honestly, I really had a hard time putting this list together for sure, because with so many good ones that I've actually seen, it can be quite hard to actually depict on which ones that I think are really deserving to actually be some really good ones for sure. But thankfully, I got it all sorted out for sure, and I did compile this whole list all together for you guys to actually enjoy for sure, so yeah, I think we pretty much know the drill at this point for sure, so yeah. I think I know it's been a long time coming, so I think it's time that we get right to it for sure. So yeah, with that being said, let's close off 2025 hands down with, of course, honestly enough, my pretty much on my top 12 of course, my favorite movies of this year. So yeah, that is, of course, what we're going to be diving into for sure. So with that being said, I think we pretty much know the drill when it comes to these lists for sure. So yeah, let's get right to it, hands down, as we go ahead and count down my top 12 favorite movies of 2025. So yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably what I can say, of course, that front. So with that being said, let's get right to it. Number 12. Wicked for Good. Yeah, it looks like we're actually kicking this list off, hands down, with, of course, the long-awaited second part to, of course, this epic duology for sure. And yeah, honestly, to me, I think it makes sense for me to pretty much mention this one for sure, since we're only at the bottom of the list for sure, to which I guess my point still stands on what I thought of this movie as a whole. I really don't think it's actually as strong as, of course, its predecessor that came beforehand for sure, but it does actually have some really good stuff in it that I really do love and admire that we've actually seen in the first Wicked movie for sure. So yeah, everything from, of course, the really nice story, the characters that have grown and evolved for sure, some brilliant acting, hands out, especially from both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, and that's just to name me a few for sure. So yeah, I think it is safe to say that, for while I can't necessarily say it's by all means fantastic, like, of course, the last film we actually got, I still think it is actually a really good movie for sure. So yeah, and honestly, I think it is actually a really great way to finish off this epic duology that we've been waiting for quite a long time now for sure. And boy, I think they really did end it off on a real good note for sure. Now, I am fully aware that they are planning on doing other movies outside of course, the ones we actually got for sure. So we'll probably wait and see what comes up for sure. But for now, I think it is probably best to just leave it at just 2 movies for now for sure. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. I can't say it's actually as strong as, of course, the last film we actually got, but there's no doubt in my mind that Wicked for Good has indeed pretty much felt the same way as, of course, our main characters, in that it actually has changed for good. And that's definitely the best way to put it. And I don't know, maybe I think it's just me nitpicking at some parts singing from what I can gather, but we're just at the bottom of the list, and there's plenty more where that came from. Number 11. Paddington in Peru. Yeah, I guess it is quite fair for me to mention this movie as a whole, and yeah, I think it definitely deserves to pretty much take the title as another great one that I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, honestly, to me, for my first go at, of course, finally talking about pretty much one of the Paddington movies for sure. Yeah, I definitely know I did come off pretty great seeing the first 2 films hands out, and I'm glad to see that this movie really kept the momentum of course, the last 2 films that we actually got, and it delivered on that very well, in my opinion. And yeah, I really do love the nice approach that they actually went with of course, this one for sure, and it really does help keep the love and spirit of course, Paddington Bear alive, hands down, while bringing something new and inventive at the same time to really make it all the more gripping and exciting for sure. And I think this movie really did deliver on that very well, in my opinion. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I think it is safe to say that I definitely enjoyed this movie as much as I enjoyed the previous Paddington movies all the way for sure. And who knows, if they ever decide to do another one of those anytime soon, I'll be quite curious to see on what other direction they're going to go, pretty much with, of course, this one, because I do know there's a lot of strong possibilities, hands down, and I know there's a lot of great ideas, pretty much just waiting to be explored upon, for sure. So yeah, whenever that'll come around, for sure, I know hands down that we'll definitely pretty much see when that comes around, for sure, with, of course, a nice little sandwich for us to munch on, with, of course, marmalade in it, of course. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, either way, I really enjoyed Paddington in Peru, and I definitely do think it is definitely well worth checking out, in my opinion. So yeah. Number 10. Alright, well, when I actually did say that I have a hard time putting this list together, I really meant it in the, pretty much, yeah, I really meant it for sure. So yeah, so I guess for the number 10 spot, I guess, pretty much of anything, what could be a really great way for me to, pretty much, have something take the number 10 spot? Well, surprisingly enough, I did actually go for pretty much a couple of Disney movies that we actually got, for sure, because let's face it, on top of some of the bad movies they've actually put out for this year, they did counteract that with some really good ones, hands down, and boy, I think we did get ourselves two great ones that is actually well worth mentioning for sure, both coming from their main animation studio, and of course from Pixar for sure. So yeah, based on, of course, what I've actually said, the number 10 spot is a tie between two animated films from both Disney and Pixar, and that being, of course, Elio and Zootopia 2. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front, and I think it makes sense for me to group both of those together for sure, since I really enjoyed them for sure. So yeah, I guess for the sake of Elio for one side of the table, I really do like what they have going for hands down, and yeah, I think we've seen the whole fish out of water storyline, but with aliens done before hands down, but I really do like the nice approach they actually went with of course that said movie for sure, and yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, it really does deliver on that quite well from what I can gather. That really got me hooked on all the way from what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, I do feel bad that Elio did not get the attention that we've all been hoping that it'll actually get for sure, but I still enjoyed it for what it is. Well, for the case of Zootopia 2, yeah, I guess it did everything on what I'm hoping for with, of course, this movie. I definitely do think it really had a lot of great ideas that has been explored upon pretty much to really help expand, of course, on what the first film actually did, and they accomplished that very well, in my opinion, for sure. So yeah, I guess it is safe to say that I definitely enjoyed the second movie as much as I enjoyed the first movie all the way. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, honestly, to me, I think it makes sense for me to pretty much talk about both of them on this spot on this list, because I still enjoyed of course, what both those movies actually have provided for sure, and who knows, I guess for the sake of Elio, maybe within a matter of time he'll gain the following that he'll actually get for sure. While for Zootopia 2, I really am glad that we actually finally got it, as it is the one sequel, the one sequel that we want to see from Disney for sure, and I do hear they're working on Zootopia 3 for sure, so yeah, I'll be really excited to see what they're going to do for that one, hands down. So yeah, I guess needless to say, I enjoyed both those movies all the way, and they're definitely well worth checking out. Number 9. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Yeah, I think it makes sense for me to really delve into this movie once again for sure. And yeah, I think from what I've actually seen, I think this movie really did finish off the Mission Impossible movies with a massive bang for sure. I think with, of course, what I've actually seen, they really had a lot going forward to really make this pretty much one big epic conclusion for all these movies for sure, and they deliver on that very well for sure. So yeah, I think it is safe to say the hang with some really great action, a really nice story they actually went with for sure, to some brilliant acting that they actually did, especially from of course Tom Cruise for sure. I think it really does make it all the more worth it, hands down for sure. And yeah, I guess it is pretty much sad to say goodbye to, of course, the Mission Impossible movies for sure. But for now, I think it is definitely for the best, and they definitely finished these movies off with a really great one, hands down. So yeah, we'll definitely look back on all these films for sure for what they are, hands down. And yeah, needless to say, I think they really went all out with, of course, this one for sure. So yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't need anything else to say on that. I definitely enjoyed this movie all the way, and I'm glad to see that is one final mission, should you choose to accept, hands down. And boy, we really did accept that, hands down. So yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. Number 8. Yep, I guess it is, of course, another tie for, of course, this spot on this list, and yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, yeah, I guess for the number 8 spot for sure, I think it makes sense for me to go for another tie for sure, but this time around, it is a little something that's given to us from the Marvel Cinematic Universe for sure. So yeah, and surprisingly enough, for these two movies, hands down, they do have one thing in common, hands down. Sure, I guess they're by all means great, but of course, one actually gave us a pretty much a really great ending to, of course, the lackluster Phase 5 of the MCU. And of course, the other one actually gave off a really good start to Phase 6 for sure. So yeah, and I think you know the ones that I'm talking about. So yeah, taking the number 8 spot on this list, it would definitely go to both Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four First Steps. So yeah, I think it makes sense for me to talk about both these films on this list, and yeah, I guess it's safe to say that for what we got in the MCU, both of these movies are absolutely really great for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much for Thunderbolts from what I've actually seen, I really actually didn't expect much going into, of course, this one from what I've actually seen, but I know a lot of people were hooked on with, of course, what it's actually providing for sure, and I'm glad to see the hag, it really is giving off exactly that for sure. I really do dig on what they're actually going for with, of course, this one, and I really do think they really laid the groundwork for what they have provided for this big epic team up, hands down for sure, and yeah, I say they deliver on that very well, hands down. I really do think they really did an impressive job with, of course, this one for sure, and yeah. I think it is probably the best way I can put it, hands down for sure. So yeah, I think it would definitely show on how much I really enjoy Thunderbolts for sure. Now, as for the Fantastic Four First Steps, my God, I stand by my pointing, saying that this is definitely what we've been hoping for a Fantastic Four movie. Hands out, I guess it's after the previous cinematic blunders that we actually got beforehand. I'm glad to see they got it right with, of course, this movie for sure. And I really do think they really did an impressive job to really pretty much make this a grand epic time for sure. And yeah, they did deliver on that very well for sure. I really actually got to know pretty much our main leads for sure. And yeah, I think it is pretty much the one thing we all wanted to see for, of course, a Fantastic Four movie. And they deliver on that very well for sure. So yeah, definitely the one movie we've been hoping for quite a long time. And I guess it's after pretty much about over 20 plus years since after the previous adaptations. Yeah, they really cracked the code with, of course, this one. And yeah, I could go on and on, of course, all that, but those are what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess it is safe to say that despite a bit of a lackluster start this year, the MCU really did bounce back with both Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Steps for sure. So yeah, I think with those two movies that I've actually mentioned, I really enjoyed both of them for sure, and I think they're really great ones to check out for sure. And I guess on that thought alone, I'll be excited to see on what will come their way for when they'll appear in Avengers Doomsday that's going to be coming up for sure. So yeah, wouldn't that be quite exciting to see? But I guess pretty much of anything, I know a lot of you guys are wondering, yeah, if that being the case for a Marvel, what about their rival company, DC? Well, surprisingly enough, that would, of course, tie into, of course, the next movie that I want to talk about on this list for sure. What you may ask? Well, join me at number 7. Number 7. James Gunn's Superman. Yep, I guess pretty much of anything, looks like we're shifting our focus from Marvel to DC right now for sure. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that on top of course, Fantastic Four First Steps being a big massive win for Marvel, yeah, I guess if anything, James Gunn's Superman is also a big win for DC as we speak. And yeah, I think pretty much of anything, for the latter that I've actually mentioned, this movie really is absolutely incredible from what I've actually seen. I really enjoyed the hell out of course, what they actually did for sure. I think it really took the idea of course, pretty much the iconic superhero that we all know and love, but give off a fresh new take that I think really does help blending quite well for sure. And they accomplished that very well, not only working well as a brand new movie that we can easily get into, but also pretty much show us the iconic Superman that we all know and love, hands down. So, excuse me, so, yeah, I guess all this talk of me praising Superman is making me choke a little bit, but I'm all better now, so yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, James Gunn's Superman. So yeah, I guess either way, on top of what I've actually mentioned for sure, pretty much of anything, I really do dig the nice story. Yeah, the acting is all the more incredible for sure. And yeah, James Gunn really putting a lot of hard-working effort directing this film. And yeah, with everything they've actually done for sure, I think it really does make this movie all the more worth it for sure. And of course, pretty much of anything, my biggest recommendation by far is of course not just to watch this movie all the way for sure, but my biggest recommendation by far is pretty much going into a little bit of spoilers for sure, is that Superman actually gives off a really great speech for sure about what it means to be a human, hands down. And yeah, honestly, if you look that one up on YouTube, I think it will really show, of course, what exactly I'm talking about. And of course, that speech alone, that is what we need for sure, given to the circumstances that we've been facing throughout most of this year, and all the terrible stuff that's been happening that we're trying to fight against. Yeah. Superman's speech about what it means to be human is definitely what we need for sure, so yeah, definitely look it up on YouTube for sure, and yeah, you'll definitely see what I mean, pretty much when I say exactly that for sure, so yeah, but I guess aside from all of that, I really enjoyed what James Gunn's Superman actually did, and of course, it is definitely a really great start to, of course, this brand new DC cinematic universe that we're now currently getting for sure, and I'll be really excited to see what will come up next for sure, because as of now, pretty much Supergirl and Clayface are next for sure, so I'll be really excited to see what's gonna go down for, of course, those two for sure, so yeah, but for now, I'm glad we pretty much got this movie for sure, and yeah, and of course, if anything, it definitely shows us the Superman that we all know and love, and it is definitely well worth it, so yeah. Number 6. F1. Yeah, I think it makes sense for me to mention this movie for sure, because, yeah, honestly, I was actually thinking about placing it somewhere else for sure, but I think it would be rather unfair for me to actually not include this one for sure, so yeah, I think it is safe to say that for F1, I think it really definitely deserves the massive praise that it's actually got for sure. I really do think they really have a lot going for hands down, and I think they really did a bang-up job with what it's actually providing to us for sure, and yeah, at the end of the day, I really do think this movie really is a great one that is definitely well worth the watch for sure, and yeah, and I really do felt that pretty much of anything for this being a regular old racing movie for sure, it really got me on the edge of my seat for sure, for one hell of a great ride for sure, and they actually did deliver on that very well, hands down for sure, so yeah, I think it is safe to say that for everything from what I've actually seen, F1 is definitely a great one that I really do love and admire all the way, and yeah, pretty much if anything, I definitely do think this is definitely one that you definitely don't want to miss for sure. I think you're going to be in for one hell of a great time for sure, so yeah. Number 5. Final Destination Bloodlines. Oh yeah, you know exactly why I actually mentioned this movie for sure, and yeah, I think pretty much mentioning this movie for sure, I say it is definitely well worth it at the end, so yeah, I think it is safe to say that my reaction to, of course, the Final Destination movies from the past does kind of vary from what I've actually seen, and of course, I did originally said that the fifth film was, of course, probably the best one that I've actually seen. But, of course, this movie really took that spot for sure, and it really did deliver on that very well for sure. I think they really did a bang-up job in not only keeping the love and spirit of course, the previous Final Destination movies that came out beforehand for sure, with, of course, with not only pretty much of anything, amping up the story, the characters, and of course, the creative ways these characters will die for sure. But I really do also love the way they pretty much pretty much decided to go for pretty much mixing up the formula that we've actually seen in the previous films all the way, and I really do think they really did a bang-up job for sure. Not only where I think is actually a nice change of pace for some longtime fans of these movies for sure, but it's also a great way to bring in some newcomers all the way, So yeah, I think pretty much for what it is, I'm glad to see that Final Destination Bloodlines really did everything that we all wanted to see for sure, and yeah, I think pretty much if anything, I really do think yeah, it definitely does deserve the title now as being the best of course, all these movies for sure. Kind of like on how I felt about Saw X being the best of the Saw movies, in my opinion, for sure, to which I can definitely agree with a lot of people on that for sure, So yeah, needless to say, I really enjoyed Final Destination Bloodlines for what it is for sure, and I think this movie really is absolutely well worth it for sure, so yeah, and plus we cannot forget to mention is definitely without a doubt the one movie that really gave off such a really great final performance to of course the late Tony Todd for sure, So yeah, he was of course a massive drive in making these movies work, similar to what he did in Candyman for sure, and yeah, it is yeah, it really does break my heart to see that he's gone for sure, but I say he definitely went out with a massive bang with of course this movie for sure, so yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this movie for what it is, and Tony Todd, we will always remember you, hands down. You have been a massive drive in being such a really great icon for a horror for sure, with both Candyman and Final Destination for sure. And we will always remember you all the way for sure. You may be gone, but your legacy will continue on for sure. So, rest in peace, Tony Todd. Yeah, I guess I needed that moment of silence for sure, so man, I nearly felt like I was gonna cry. I need a moment. Okay, moment over, so yeah, now that we got that done, let's go ahead and move on to the next spot. Number 4. Years later. Yeah, I guess it is safe to say that for this year, I think it is actually a great year for horror flicks, hands down for sure, and yeah, even I'm quite surprised for sure, because of anything, I'm glad to see that I'm actually including a few horror flicks, of course, this list for sure. In fact, probably I guess much higher than the last several years for sure, so yeah. But yeah, I guess it is safe to say that, given to what I said earlier about Final Destination Bloodlines, I can definitely say the same thing for 28 years later for sure. I really do think this movie is probably, I guess, by all means, an absolute incredible masterpiece all the way for sure. That really does keep the love and spirit of course, the previous movies that we've actually seen for sure. And I really do love on some really nice creative ways they actually dig to really keep it going for sure, while of course bringing something new to the table for sure, and yeah, they accomplished that very well, hands down. So yeah, I think with, of course, everything from, of course, the great story, interesting characters, brilliant acting, amazing cinematography for sure, just to name me a few, I think it definitely does show that 28 years later is definitely well worth the watch for sure, and yeah, I think it is definitely a great movie all the way for sure, compared to, of course, 28 days later and 28 weeks later for sure, so yeah. And before you guys ask, pretty much, no, they did not skip 28 months later for sure, because if that movie would have actually happened, then this wouldn't happen in the first place for sure. So yeah, but regardless on that, I really enjoyed on what 28 years later has actually provided for sure, and yeah, I guess given to all that, I'm excited to see on what the follow-up film 28 years later, The Bone Temple, is gonna have providing for sure. So yeah, I think this movie really laid the groundwork for what we're gonna be getting for sure. So I'm excited to see on what The Bone Temple will have providing for sure, and thankfully it is slated to come out some point around next month for sure. So yeah, not that long of a wait for sure, so I'll be really excited to see on what will come up for sure, so yeah. But for now, I think it is safe to say that 28 years later, definitely a great movie all the way, and I enjoyed it for what it is, so yeah. Number 3. Yeah, I guess pretty much if anything, yeah, I promise this is probably the last tie that I'm actually giving off to, of course, this list for sure, but thankfully enough, I have good reason to place these ones in the number 3 spot for sure, so yeah, and quite fitting enough, it's not necessarily a regular old tie from what I've actually gathered for sure. Oh no, it's actually a 3-way tie for sure, so yeah. Pretty much, the number 3 spot is giving out, pretty much given to 3 movies that I've decided to group together for sure, and surprisingly enough, pretty much they're all anime movies that we actually got for this year that I really do think are worth talking about for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah. Pretty much of anything, the number 3 spot on this list is going to 3 anime films that I actually really loved and enjoyed for sure. Those being, of course, Colorful Stage the movie, Miku Who Can't Sing, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, and Chainsaw Man the movie, Reze Arc. So yeah, I think it makes sense for me to group these 3 movies all together for sure, because yeah, everything from what I've actually said about the host for sure, I really do think they are well worth it for sure. So I guess starting with, of course, Colorful Stage, the movie, I really do think this movie really is an absolute blast from what I've actually seen for sure. I think with what they actually did from what I can gather, they really actually pretty much kept the love and spirit of course, pretty much on what we know and love about Hatsune Miku for sure, but actually really find a way to really work well in movie form from what I can gather, and yeah, they really did accomplish that very well, hands down. I have been pretty much a long-time Hatsune Miku fan for some time now, for sure, and I think for this, for her to be given the cinematic treatment from what I've actually seen, I think they really did accomplish that very well, in my opinion. So yeah. And of course, pretty much of anything, it really does feel like I really stepped myself in to a really nice Hatsune Miku concert that I've actually decided to go to for sure. And yeah, and once the whole thing was over, I just wanted more hands down. So yeah, I think he is probably what I can say for Colorful Stage, the movie for sure. I definitely enjoyed it all the way as someone who is a longtime Hatsune Miku fan, and I guess for Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, I really do think this movie really laid the groundwork from what I can gather to really keep on going with what we all know and love about Demon Slayer as a whole, and I think they really did an incredible job on, of course, that front. In fact, I dare even say that I really had a great time seeing this movie, as much as I actually saw pretty much the previous film that I talked about, Mugen Train. So yeah, I think think it's all I can say, of course, that front and yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I really did love on what Demon Slayer Infinity Castle has actually provided for sure. Now, as for Chainsaw Man, Reze arc, yeah, honestly, to me, I really do think this movie was a really great introduction for Chainsaw Man to me as someone who has actually heard about the anime, but never actually had the time to actually watch it for sure. Sort of like what I did with Spy Family last year, and yeah, I think with what I've actually seen, they really did an impressive job with what I've actually seen with, of course, this movie, and I really got hooked on all the way with what it's actually providing for sure, So yeah, I guess it is safe to say that give it to that thought alone. I know I would definitely love to check out the Chainsaw Man, the Chainsaw Man anime after seeing this movie for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess give it to what I've actually said. I think it makes sense for me to group all these movies in this spot on this list for sure. So I think it is safe to say that it does come close, yes, but it is pretty much still another big win for Japan in my books, hands down. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Number 2. K-pop Demon Hunters. Oh yeah, you've all seen this one coming up for sure, and yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I know with the other movies, I still enjoy them for what they are for sure, but when it comes to, of course, pretty much of anything K-pop Demon Hunters, it's more than just a great movie from what I can gather. It is a cultural phenomenon that we're actually getting for sure, and of course, with what I've actually seen, I can definitely agree with a lot of people, hands down. I definitely do think this movie really does do everything that we all wanted to see for sure, and they really did an impressive job from what I can gather, with, of course, a really great story, interesting characters, some brilliant ideas being presented that is executed properly from what I can gather, and of course, an amazing soundtrack for sure. It is definitely one movie that is deserving, of course, being pretty much being deserved to be called a cultural phenomenon all the way, and even gain the following that he actually deserved, and I'm glad to see that it actually got that for sure, and yeah, honestly, I think with my experience finally checking this movie out sometime after its release for sure, I say it really is well deserving of pretty much on what it's actually gotten now since after its release for sure. And I mean, I think with, of course, pretty much not only since after viewing it on Netflix for myself, but also catching the sing-along pretty much screening of it on the big screen, which is absolutely incredible, and yeah, part of me did kind of wish that I think this movie would have actually got a theatrical release for sure, but I still think they did the job very well, in my opinion, regardless on that. And even when I actually went out to a couple of conventions for sure and see people cosplaying as these characters for sure. Yeah, I think it is safe to say that I'm glad to see that K-pop Demon Hunters is pretty much really gaining that massive following for sure, and yeah, I'll be really excited to see on what will come up next for sure, because I do want to see on what other direction they're going to go next for sure, so yeah. I think it's probably what I can say, of course, that front, but yeah, I guess until then, I can agree with a lot of people and say that K-pop Demon Hunters is definitely a really great movie all the way for sure, and yeah, it is truly the one movie that really does make us feel absolutely golden for sure, so yeah. Alright, well, looks like we're almost done with this list right now, and Well, I guess pretty much of anything as usual for sure. Before we get to our number one pick, hands down, I know I don't want to leave any other movies that I still enjoyed in the dust for sure, on top of the ones I've listed earlier for sure. So I think it makes sense to actually give pretty much give them the recognition by far that I think, yeah, that I wish I could have put in my list, but I sadly couldn't for sure, in favor of some other ones that I really enjoyed for sure, but they're still well worth the mention all the way, hands down. So yeah, so with that being said, before we get to our number one pick, let's go ahead and take a look at several honorable mentions. Dogman. Yeah, I think it makes sense for me to mention this movie for sure, and for while I can't necessarily say it's by all means great, I still think it is actually a really good movie all the way, with of course some great animation, a nice story, and interesting characters. So yeah, not really worthy enough to make it onto this list for sure, but still worth the honorable mention anyways. Mickey 17. Again, I really do think it is actually a real good movie that I really do love and admire for sure, but yeah, I can't necessarily say it's by all means great, but I still think it is definitely well worth the watch anyways. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Yeah, I think as someone who is a longtime Looney Tunes fan, I definitely do enjoy it for what it is, and I'm glad to see that it really does deliver on what it's actually providing for sure. And yeah, given to what I've actually seen, I really do think this movie really is a great one to actually check out for sure. And for those who are wondering, yes, I am looking forward to KPop Entertainment finally releasing Coyote vs. Acme for sure. So yeah, with what we've actually got with the Day the Earth Blew Up, hands down, I do hope they'll repeat that same success for pretty much Coyote vs. Acme for sure. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see. So moving on, Karate Kid Legends. Yeah, I think it really does deserve the honorable mention for sure, and I really do think this movie did a nice job in what it's actually providing for sure, and actually showcasing on what we love and admire about the past Karate Kid movies all the way, and this movie really did a nice enough job for what it is. From the world of John Wick Ballerina. Again, I really do think it is actually a real good movie from what I've actually seen, but I can't necessarily say it's as great as the main John Wick films for what it is, but I really do think it is actually well worth the watch regardless for sure. So yeah, not really by all means great, but still a good one nonetheless. The Naked Gun. Again, I really do think this movie is actually a really good one, pretty much from what I can gather, and I really do think they really did a bang-up job with what I've actually seen for sure, with some really good performances from Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, but really does help keep the love and spirit of the Naked Gun movies alive for sure. So yeah, not really by all means worthy enough to be great, but I really do think it is actually a really good one nonetheless. The Bad Guys 2. Again, I really do think it is actually a real great one to check out, and I definitely do prefer it over the first film all the way for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much for what it is, I really do think it is actually a real great one to check out for sure, and I'm glad to see that it really is a must-watch all the way. An Unlikely Fandom. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that I really do think this movie is well worth the watch for sure, and I think it really does show the love and appreciation as someone who really loves Thomas the Tank Engine for sure, and yeah, I think for what it is, this is definitely one documentary that's definitely well worth the watch. The Toxic Avenger remake. Yeah, I think it is safe to say that I definitely enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed the original Toxic Avenger for sure, and I think with what I've actually seen, especially from a really great performance from Peter Dinklage all the way, I think this movie is an absolute watch for sure if you're pretty much a fan of Trauma or not, hands down. So yeah, I guess it is safe to say that I really love this movie all the way. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. Again, I really can't say it's actually pretty much as strong as the first Spinal Tap movie that we actually got, but I really do think it is actually a real good one that is actually well worth the watch for sure. Not really my thing all the way, but I do think it is actually a really good one to check out. Rest in peace, Rob Reiner. We will always remember you for your really great movies that you've put together, and boy, I think we will always remember you since after directing this one for sure. Black Phone 2. Yeah, I think if anything, I think it really did a nice job being what it's actually providing for sure, and really does pretty much keep the love and spirit of course, the first Black Phone movie while trying to bring in something new and inventive at the same time that really got us hooked on it, and they accomplished that very well. So yeah, not by all means great, but I really do think it is a real good one to check out all the way. Predator Badlands. Yeah, I think pretty much of anything, I really do love on what this movie is actually done for sure, and I think pretty much for what it is, it really does pretty much bring something very creative while keeping true to, of course, the Predator movies that came out beforehand for sure. So yeah, definitely a real great one that's well worth checking out, and I enjoyed it all the way. The SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants. Yeah, I think it is quite fair for me to mention this one for sure, and I really do think this movie is actually a real good one to check out for sure, and yeah, I think for what it is, I think it is guaranteed to delight many SpongeBob fans out there, but still actually give us a real good movie all the way for sure. And the final runner-up is Avatar Firing Ash. Yeah, I think it is actually well worth the mentioning anyways for sure. And yeah, I do felt the running time and the story could have been fixed up a little bit from what I've actually seen, but it really does deliver quite well with some nice ideas and some really great visuals all the way. So yeah, not necessarily one that I would definitely love and enjoy for sure, but I think it is a really nice one that's definitely well worth the watch for sure. Alrighty then, well, now that we finally got the honorable mentions out of the way, looks like we're now down to the final spot on this list for sure, and yeah, like I said, I had a hard time putting this list together for sure, but I guess, if anything, out of all the movies I've actually seen, and I've actually mentioned on this list for sure, nothing, and I mean nothing, could top this movie that I think is deserving to take the #1 spot for sure. In fact, even after the day since after I finally got to checking out for sure, I definitely do think this movie is not only deserving of course, the praise that I gave it to hands down for sure, but I know ever since the very beginning, since after I first saw it on the big screen, I knew it's destined to take this spot on this list for sure. So yeah, what is it, you may ask? Well, let's find out. And my #1 favorite movie of 2025 is Sinners. Oh yeah, you definitely saw this one coming for sure, and yeah, I think I know with the past movies that I've actually listed on this list for sure, I still enjoy them for what they are, but nothing, and I mean nothing, can top on how much I really enjoyed Sinners for sure. I think with, of course, everything, and I mean everything that they actually did for sure, they really did an impressive job with what I've actually gathered all the way. I really do dig the incredible story story that they actually put together alongside some amazing writing from what I've actually seen, to some really great characters that we all get to know for sure, and even the actors that they brought in, like of course pretty much Michael B. Jordan for sure, and that's just to name me a few. To even the really great directing from Ryan Coogler for sure. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that with everything, and that's just to name me a few, really does make this movie worthy enough to take the #1 spot on this list for sure. I really enjoyed what this movie is actually given to us from what I can gather, and yeah, I guess pretty much of anything. A lot of people say that this movie is an absolute masterpiece for, of course, this year for sure, and that is something I can definitely agree on for sure. So yeah, I think with everything, everything that I've actually said about this movie as a whole, I really do think Sinners really is a really great movie to actually check out for sure, and yeah, pretty much if anything, I'm really glad that we actually got this one for sure, and for what it is, I really do think this movie really is an absolute blast all the way for sure. It's got a lot of charm, it's got a lot of really great scares, it's got pretty much a nice sense of heart, it's very atmospheric. What else can I say about it for sure? Sinners is by all means a really great movie all the way, and yes, I really do think it is deserving enough to take the #1 spot as my all-time favorite movie of 2025. No doubt about that for sure, so yeah. And I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say on this list for sure, so yeah. Yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, yeah, it was a real hard time for me to put this one together, but I'm really quite happy with, of course, the ones I've put together for sure, so yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you all so much for watching this latest video, and well, now that I finally got my list pretty much put together for sure, I might as well turn it over to you guys. What is one movie that you saw this year that is your all-time favorite for sure? So yeah, let me know what you let me know what your favorite movie for this year is down in the comments down below. I'm quite curious to see what ones that you enjoyed the most for sure. Maybe it's pretty much one movie that I might have actually mentioned on this list. Or maybe some that I didn't actually include for sure that I might have actually missed out on for sure. So yeah, I'll be quite curious to see what you guys think. So yeah, and I guess on that thought alone, I think it'll pretty much do exactly that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest video, and yeah, now that 2025 is finally gonna come to a close for sure, I'll be really quite curious to see on what 2026 will actually give us for sure. So yeah, I know we've got pretty much a long year ahead of us for sure, but hey, I guess pretty much of anything, I guess in terms of what movies we're gonna be getting for sure, maybe I think we'll be treated to some of the good ones that we'll actually get for sure. Now, I guess we're not fully guaranteed that for sure, because we don't know what to expect for sure. But I do hope 2026 will give us some real good ones that we can actually sit down and watch for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So all I can say to all of you guys is, well, I hope all of you guys have a happy new year, and I'll see all of you guys in 2026 for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack447TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the ThomasFan1, SamAttack4427's Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.